The Packers, when they made the decision last year to draft Jordan Love, were betting on the idea that Aaron Rodgers was on the absolute tail end of his career. And I think they were blown away by the fact that Aaron Rodgers had an MVP season last year and that he looked like the best version of himself that he had looked like in years. And I think that stunned the Packers. Now, I do think that Aaron Rodgers was motivated to play as well as he did, partially because of the anger that he felt over what I'm sure he felt was a betrayal by the Green Bay Packers. And then you combine it with the decision late against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to not give him a chance to try to score the touchdown, to kick the field goal there, something that was referenced in jeopardy. And I believe that ultimately Aaron Rodgers looked across the field at Tom Brady, and I think he had envy for the fact that Tom Brady was able to walk away from New England, win a championship with Tampa Bay, and whether anybody wants to believe it or not, ultimately grasp a great deal of revenge over Bill Belichick and the New England Patriot organization, which I believe had argued to a lot of people out there, hey, the reason why Brady has been so successful is because he got to play with us. Now, the reality is Belichick's a great coach, but he's got an all-time losing record without Tom Brady. Now he's going to get a chance with Mac Jones in the next couple of years ahead to see exactly what kind of relationship they can have. And maybe Belichick can find magic again with another quarterback. But right now, we debated this for years. Who was more important? Was Bill Belichick or Tom Brady more important to the New England Patriot dynasty? I think what has happened is Tom Brady has won that argument for the foreseeable future in a major way. So, now Aaron Rodgers, I believe, is looking back and thinking to himself, hey, there is an argument that I could have the same kind of success as Tom Brady at a brand new team if I was with the right franchise. And I think the decision to draft Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers used it as fuel. And I don't think, by the way, he holds it against Jordan Love because he's been through this himself with Brett Favre. He just felt disrespected because I believe Aaron Rodgers looks around the league and says, wait a minute, Tom Brady's 43 years old. Drew Brees, 41 years old. Those guys are still playing at an incredibly high level. I'm 3 or 4 years younger at least than those guys. I'm going to play until I'm 40. And I'm not close to being done right now. And I think the Packers thought that he was. They gambled by taking a guy in the first round, even though they had been in the NFC Championship game. And I have to ask you, I think it's a fair question, and I'm sure it's one that Aaron Rodgers and his representation have been asking. Hey, do you think if we had drafted a corner last year and that corner had been good, that maybe we would have beaten the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and been better on the defensive side of the ball than we were? In other words, maybe that could have made the difference in the NFC Championship game if we had bigger and better talent to be able to rely on there. And I think that is a very fair, very legitimate position that they could ask as it pertains to that decision. Now, what I believe has happened is Aaron Rodgers tried to keep this quiet. I think Aaron Rodgers tried to keep it quiet. He said, look, I want to be traded. And I think now that the Packers don't have very many good options. The decision to go draft Eric Stokes out of Georgia to take a defensive player was, to me, kind of like sticking a middle finger up at Aaron Rodgers, because I think the Packers are furious that Aaron Rodgers and his team made a calculated decision to go public and say all of this on the day that everybody's paying attention to the NFL. They leaked this information about Aaron Rodgers wanting to be traded to try to put pressure on the Green Bay Packers to get something done. And it seems on some level like the Packers are trying to call Aaron Rodgers' bluff. We'll see how exactly that manages to hold up. But I would say this. Think about how Green Bay has used their picks in the first round every year since 2012. They have used the fact that they have Aaron Rodgers as a license to go get defensive players because they believe he's so good that they don't need to surround him with incredible offensive talent. 2012, defensive end. 2013, defensive end. 2014, defensive back. 2015, safety. 2016, defensive tackle. 2017, cornerback. 2018, cornerback. 2019, linebacker. 2020, backup quarterback to replace Aaron Rodgers. 2021, cornerback. Now, I just ask you, that's 10 years. I was just counting on my phone. 10 years of first-round picks. Not one single first pick has been on the offensive side of the ball except for the guy that they drafted to potentially replace Aaron Rodgers. No matter who you are, that is a level of disrespect that I believe would drive just about everybody insane in terms of the way that broke down. And so I don't blame Aaron Rodgers at all for being angry about the way that this situation has gone down. And by the way, before the whole situation with Deshaun Watson blew up, there was a lot of discussion about Deshaun Watson effectively demanding a trade. Aaron Rodgers, I believe, has earned the right to demand a trade. He's been performing at an MVP caliber level for his entire career. He's not doing this at 25 or 26 years old. I just ran through 10 different first picks that the Green Bay Packers have made. None of them are on the offensive side of the ball other than the quarterback they drafted to replace Aaron Rodgers. The other 9 players are all on defense. The Packers have the luxury of having Aaron Rodgers as a stud quarterback, and they have not surrounded him with elite-level talent because they think Aaron Rodgers can make the talent incredibly elite around him. At some point, that level of disrespect festers with you. And I think Aaron Rodgers deciding to go do Jeopardy, I think Aaron Rodgers being the guy that he is, he tried to keep this quiet, and ultimately the Packers were not listening to him, and so he decided with his representation to go public with what's going on in this broken relationship right now. Now, the question is, how do the Packers play this out? The only real way I could see the Packers being able to keep Aaron Rodgers, if I were advising them and they said, okay, Clay, how can we fix this? I think they'd probably have to trade Jordan Love, basically give him away, and let somebody else give him a second or a third round pick for Jordan Love if they could get that, and sign Aaron Rodgers to a long-term extension, guaranteeing him another 3 years or so of being the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. I'm not sure even then that Aaron Rodgers would acquiesce and agree to continue to be a quarterback for the Packers, because he may feel like this entire relationship is broken. But that's the only thing in my mind that could be done that in any way would justify Aaron Rodgers being able to be convinced to come back for another several years with the Green Bay Packers. I think this is a broken relationship. I think it's eerily similar to what happened with Tom Brady. The difference is Brady was an unrestricted free agent, but I think that Aaron Rodgers can get a lot of teams out there bidding on him. And the rumor was hot and heavy last night that it was going to be the Denver Broncos potentially making this deal. And I don't know what the Packers scenario is going to be. They may not want to reward Aaron Rodgers. They may drag this out. They may try to turn it into a public bidding process where they're able to get a lot of assets in the years ahead in order to give up Aaron Rodgers. But I think this is a story that is incredibly interesting to follow and see exactly how it all ends up shaking out. And I don't see how it ends well for the Packers. I think there are a lot of teams out there that would be interested in Aaron Rodgers. The challenge is a lot of those teams that would have potentially been interested in Aaron Rodgers made moves to go get quarterbacks. The one that did not is the Denver Broncos, which is why I would kind of circle back around and say that's the team that could make the most sense for Aaron Rodgers. Let me explain. We came in this year to the draft, and I had sort of put 5 teams outside of the ones that we knew were taking quarterbacks, right? The Jags taking Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, the 49ers. We knew all 3 of those teams were going to be in the mix to potentially go grab quarterbacks. I said to me there were 5 teams that were really still potentially in the quarterback market. And the Broncos, the Patriots, the Steelers, Washington, and Chicago. Well, I think you can take the Patriots and Chicago off the board because the Patriots went and got Mac Jones and the Bears went and got Justin Fields. That leaves us with the Steelers, Washington, and the Broncos as teams that could theoretically be in the mix to get quarterbacks. What did the Broncos do? They passed on Justin Fields and they passed on Mac Jones. That feels significant to me. What did the Steelers do? Well, they still have Ben Roethlisberger. I think this is a no-brainer. The Broncos have to be a substantial favorite to go get Aaron Rodgers right now. Not to say somebody else couldn't make that choice, but if you look at the overall quarterback positions right now and think about how all of these are lined up and what the situations would be in general, to me, the only 2 teams that would make a lot of sense to go get Aaron Rodgers are the Broncos and the Steelers. The Steelers don't make sense for this year, so it doesn't. That doesn't really add up. To me, the 5 teams that came into this draft potentially in the quarterback market, the Broncos are the team that makes the most sense going forward to get a deal done for Aaron Rodgers. Now, what would that deal look like? I don't know. How many years would the Broncos have to give away in order to go grab Aaron Rodgers of quarterbacks? This is somewhat akin to Peyton Manning, except Peyton Manning was a free agent. You could probably trade away, maybe in a scenario, the Houston Texans could go get a guy like Drew Lock. Obviously, the Texans are the other team that is desperate for a quarterback right now, but unfortunately for the Texans, they don't have a pick in the first or the second round. Maybe just kind of tossing it out there, the Green Bay Packers might be willing to take the risk for Deshaun Watson. Would they be willing to try to move on from Deshaun Watson given all the different issues that are outstanding with Deshaun Watson and make a move to try and make a trade for Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. I don't know that I want to take on that obligation or that mess if I am the Green Bay Packers, because who knows what might happen with Deshaun Watson. That's kind of the only proven quarterback I could see you could maybe get in exchange. And look, if you really believe in Jordan Love, put your money where your mouth is and let him be the starter going forward. So, as we break it down, this Aaron Rodgers story is not going to disappear. We're going to be talking about it a ton, an absolutely massive amount as we continue to go forward. And again, I think the Broncos make the most sense. Is Aaron Rodgers at the age of 37 or 38 worth 2 or 3 first-round picks? I think it's an intriguing question. I'm not sure that the answer is 100% yes, but I think if you're the Broncos, you see this as a potential opportunity to go back in time and redo the Peyton Manning situation, and so you would have the opportunity, potentially, to have a guy who can give you a Super Bowl opportunity in Denver going forward. And by the way, let's think about that for a minute. If he went to Denver, you're talking about the AFC West being completely stacked now, right? Because you would have Patrick Mahomes against Aaron Rodgers twice a year, Chiefs versus Broncos. That would be an amazing matchup. And then you're talking about the young quarterback in Justin Herbert with the Chargers and the poor woebegone Raiders who are still making ridiculous choices all throughout the first round. So that in and of itself is going to be really intriguing to think about. It would be a major shift in the balance of power from the NFC to the AFC to take away a team as good as the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers and suddenly shift his talent to the AFC. If I'm Tom Brady, I'm excited about that. If I'm any NFC contender, I'm thinking to myself, man, that is a big advantage for us, and it just makes the AFC that much more difficult, and it also makes, arguably, the AFC West then rise to the level of being the best division in all of the NFL. Because right now, the NFC West is the best division, But if you had Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, and Justin Herbert all in the same division, you toss in Derek Carr, who had a decent year last season, I think that's a pretty tough spot in order to try to figure out going forward how to win at a high level in that division. So we will continue to break all of this down. We'll discuss with the crew everything surrounding Aaron Rodgers and more. We're breaking down all of the NFL draft. I am Clay Travis. This is Outkick. I appreciate all of you.